Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 225 of the Terminal City FC podcast, part of the Area 51 Sports Network. Josh rejoined alongside Nathan Durek as per usual on this Friday morning. A little later, Nathan was on vacation. He just got back yesterday. How was it?
It was awesome. Went to Nuevo Vallarta, just north of Puerto Vallarta. It was quiet. It was a beach. It was like 33 degrees. Yeah, you can't beat it. So, a week of the beach and now I'm back.
Yep, back to talk some football. And the Whitecaps played last Saturday. First loss of the season. 1-0 loss at BC Place to the San Jose Earthquakes. And it's a game where it was one of those games where the Whitecaps just couldn't break down the San Jose low block.
The first half didn't seem all that bad. Unfortunately, it was a last gasp goal in stoppage time in the first half that got them. But it did seem like they had the momentum. It was a unique game, especially for that double pivot role. They were playing with Larraz and I want to say Badwall in the double pivot, giving Sebastian Berhalter and Kubas obviously breaks because Kubas, I think, is dealing with a bit of an injury. But it's tough when you're putting two guys together who haven't played competitively together in that position. Obviously, they would have practiced together, but to see them work or kind of alongside each other, it was a little bit of a surprise to see both Larraz and Badwall side by side on that team sheet. I get it. Berhalter's played almost every minute so far. He needs a bit of a break. Kubas obviously dealing with what he was dealing with, but I feel like both of those players need more time together before we see them together competitively.
Yeah, they weren't bad per se.
Yeah,
Larraz actually looked good.
I've liked Larraz since he's shown up. I think he's done decently with the minutes he's given. I sometimes I find he's almost a little bit too exuberant, that he needs a little bit of that maturity and that patience that comes with it. But I've liked what I've seen. I'm still very surprised Colorado let him go.
Yeah, I think everyone still is.
Yeah.
Quite surprising. Yeah, given that the Seattle game in Spokane was a few days earlier, rotation was kind of inevitable. And it's pretty much the same story from both those games. Can't break down the low block, couldn't convert the chances. This one, the only goal of the game came in stoppage time in the first half.
Yeah.
Whitecaps failed to clear. Sabali gets tackled cleanly by Bolaru, then Bolaru just scores a screamer.
And that's, like I said, it's kind of a tough thing because it felt in that first half that the Whitecaps had the momentum. That killed the momentum heading right into the locker room. And all of a sudden you're thinking like, well, do we deserve to be here?
Yeah, and that first half, Whitecaps especially dominated possession. Danielle, the goalkeeper of San Jose,
stood on his head.
Yeah, made two great saves off Brian White, made another great one off AZ. And yeah, easily the man of the match despite his time wasting in the second half, which ticked everybody off.
Yes, but I also understand why he did it. I hate it to no end. But when you, as a goalkeeper, you're that busy, you're doing whatever you can to try and give your team a break so that they can help you out because he wasn't getting a lot of help.
Yeah, that second half, it was Harambal from the San Jose Earthquakes.
Yeah, it was
like 8 in the back, time wasting, diving. Bruce Arena decided to play Harambal. They were content with the 3 points. Timo Werner did come on, but other than a couple of sprints down the wing, didn't really do a whole lot.
I don't think he had license to do a whole lot because he ended up getting a yellow card while being on the bench. Said something, caught the referee's ear, and so when he came on, he had to be basically a good boy, right? He couldn't do anything too extreme and, possibly face the wrath of a second yellow.
Yeah. For the Whitecaps, I guess the early issue is low blocks. I mean, any team, anywhere, low blocks are tough to break down. Even the Premier League, the mid to lower tier teams, they cause problems for the Big Six because of low blocks.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
it's very difficult. Often, like the Whitecaps earlier, when you had Gold and White, because they're so in sync in terms of linking up, they were able to break those down by White kind of getting around the shoulder of the last defender, and using the pace that he has to continue that run. You get a lot of balls that are overhead that where you're trying to just beat it. It can be difficult also, especially because San Jose was playing a bit of an offside trap. So you have to be
yep.
careful when you're trying to run off the shoulder of that last defender. But you don't have that sync just yet. And I wonder if it's because you're trying to play with a lot of wide channels. You don't see a lot of play coming through the middle. Obviously, in this game, you didn't have really any because Mueller started on the bench, I believe.
Yeah,
he did. And we have new players on the wings, right? Like, yes, Sabi has been around, but AZ new, Sabali new, right? They're good. I like them, but where you get that instinctual click with White, where you understand where he's going to be before he gets there, that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. This was a game. Third sub brought this up during the game that Ali Ahmed and Jaden Nelson would have thrived in because they have the skill set to break down low blocks with their speed and tenacity. And I even argue a healthy Ryan Gauld would have done something with this game because he has the skill set to break down low blocks. And the Whitecaps,
especially when you look at Gauld and Ali, I agree with you both. And also not only that, but because they're right-footed, they're not going to continually cut inside every single time. The Whitecaps, especially on that left channel, have become easy to read. And that's a bit of a problem.
All the wingers for the Whitecaps currently like to cut inside, while like someone like Ahmed and Nelson would try to take them on 1v1 or, play a ball into the box as quickly as possible. Even
that was what Ali was so good at, was taking players on 1v1, and he's continued it with Norwich City.
Yeah, and those championship teams play low blocks, deadly low blocks. Yeah, and I asked Jesper Sorensen about that after the game. He said, yeah, it's definitely something we need to work on. Got the international break right now. They're working on it as we speak, definitely. Because other teams in MLS know what the Whitecaps play.
Yeah.
And know that low blocks are a weakness. So they're definitely going to be working on that.
The Whitecaps aren't going to surprise anyone this year because of how well they did last year. It was a big surprise. Everyone, we remember because we joked about it all the time about how low ranked the Whitecaps were in terms of predicted finishes last year. It's not the case this year. They're not going to surprise anyone, and teams have adjusted accordingly.
Yeah. Like San Jose, they came with a game plan. Even in the first half, they weren't really attacking a whole lot. It was counter, and defend. Smash and grab type of win, haram ball type of win. Terrorism was a success for the San Jose Earthquakes, and Whitecaps, like, they won the XG battle, but what matters is the goals. Brian White, second half, was pretty isolated, given the lack of service he was getting, even though when he did get the service, what didn't do enough to create a high danger scoring chance. Last couple of games, Thomas Muller hasn't looked that great.
I do wonder if he's playing at 100%.
I guess fatigue also.
Yeah.
Like 4 games in 9 days or whatever it was. That's played a factor into the whole team, not just Muller.
Yeah.
But
yeah. His effectiveness also is in being able to find those pockets of space and allowing space for others, but also getting the ball to distribute. And if he's not getting the service because you've got 2 number 6s that are constantly changing, that's difficult too.
Yeah, and when other teams play as a low block, it's very hard to find space in and around the blocks.
Well, especially when you've got an 18-yard box that's packed with like 7 players.
Like 10 players at one point. And of course, you could argue, Muller was very slow. He never was the fastest guy. Not even.
No, he never was. That was never his what he required, right?
Right. I guess for him, especially, he's in Germany this week, doing promo for World Cup coverage since he's going to be an analyst. during the World Cup. Um, gives him a chance to reset, gives the Whitecaps a chance to reset. I feel like the break came at a good time because, played so many games, fatigue, and they're doing a lot of things right defensively and for the most part in the midfield, but attack just needs to be better and more clinical.
I feel like it's going to come. I
It will.
still go back to the fact that I think the influx of newer players, especially on that left hand side, it has looked promising, but it's not there yet. I I have faith in Sorensen that he is going to find it. It is going to come. We've seen consistent play from AZ. I'm very excited to see what Czech Sabali can do when he gets fully integrated into this side. I'm really excited to see what he can do, especially knowing what he was able to do with FC Metz. I hate to say it, it's going to take time, and you don't get a lot of time in sports.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's Sabby.
I agree with you. The break came at a good time.
Yeah, it's Sabby. Second half playoff Sabby needs to show up as soon as possible. Again,
Yes.
like a slow start type of player, but he just
It's been there. It's been there the last 3 games, but it is also a little bit of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right?
Right. Like last game, just trying to take on defenders and, do too much with the ball. That's the criticism I had.
Yeah.
With him last couple games. And yeah, the Whitecaps do need to just fire it and shoot. Jesper Sorensen even admitted when I asked him, like, yeah.
Yes, that's fair.
Yes, so let's talk about the referee in this game. He sucked. He let a lot go with San Jose's tackles and the dives and Daniel time wasting. I was the pool reporter, so I asked him about, why Sabali didn't draw a penalty near the end of the first half. He called it a normal soccer contact. I forgot to ask him about the one on Sabby in the second half, which was more of a penalty.
For myself, because I had the benefit of watching the reviews that were happening because I was watching Apple, being that I was away, I did not see contact on the ball.
Yeah.
It was only the player.
Yes.
This is one of those ones where if it's called a penalty, no one complains. If it's not called a penalty, which is what it was, I don't think that there was enough for VAR to overrule.
I guess that's why they didn't. Same with the second one.
Yeah. So that's it. Like people might complain about it. I don't think that there was enough. You could argue maybe they should have sent him to the monitor.
I think they should have. But they all get checked anyway.
Yeah. I don't know if there was enough to warrant that. But yeah, it's one of those ones where you feel hard done by.
Yeah, this whole game was just very frustrating. You feel hard done by. That's a great way to put Whitecaps versus San Jose Earthquakes. Hard done by the ref, but more importantly, hard done by the low block of the San Jose Earthquakes. So it is international break. We'll preview the next game against Portland next week. And several Whitecaps are on international break, which includes Ralph Priso for Canada, Sebastian Berhalter for the U.S., Tate Johnson, the under-21 American team, Mikhail Gerasmenkov, who also did well against San Jose.
2 games in a row.
Yep.
2 starts.
Because Tate Johnson really needed a rest.
Yes,
he played just about every game. And, yeah, international caps for what? Thankfully, this year, the White MLS is not having games during international break. The World Cup definitely played a factor, but it's about time.
One of those things that you can't believe it took them this long to figure out.
Yeah, it took a World Cup being hosted in North America to be figured out. So, no Whitecaps this weekend, but next weekend they're back in action against the Portland Timbers. So, big news for MLS. Antoine Griezmann, as rumored, has signed with Orlando City SC and will join the club in July. Contract is to the end of the 2027-28 season. There's an option for 1 year, club option, and of course he will be a DP.
I'm surprised it happened. I I kind of felt like this is one of those ones that Griezmann will kind of like keep the door open, flirt with the team, and would fizzle out to nothing. The fact that it kind of was the big talk in the offseason and then nothing happened, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, deal done. Good on Orlando. I will say this though, it's not what Orlando needed.
Orlando needs defense because my God, they're leaking goals.
I mean, that's the joke. Can Antoine Griezmann play center back? Because I hope so.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Max Crepeau too. Like most of the goals weren't really his fault. So
some were,
some were, but like that one against New York where it was way off his line.
I know. Yeah. You know what? It's a good move because you're getting an Antoine Griezmann who is still definitely a prime player. I mean, look what he's doing with Atletico Madrid. They're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. He's leading that team and doing amazing things with it. I think when he leaves, he's going to do so with the blessing of Atletico Madrid.
Yeah,
he's not leaving on bad terms. And the fact that he's able to finish the season with him, I think it kind of speaks to the character of the player. I like that he's doing that.
Yeah.
It's just Orlando's can't be finished yet. Like they're I feel like at least they were spending so much time concentrating on this one deal, and they've lost the fact that they need to build a team.
Yeah,
I feel like they're trying so hard to chase Miami rather than fix themselves.
Yeah. Well, okay, you got your star player, but you need supplements at the back, especially.
Your star player doesn't matter if you don't have a team to support them.
Yeah, Griezmann can score 100 goals, but it won't matter when you're leaking 5 goals a game.
He's not going to score anything if they can't get the ball to him in the first place.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a good signing for Orlando. Like, remember the Kaká played there, but this is the biggest signing since Kaká. So we'll get Messi versus Griezmann in MLS, and Max Crepeau gets to play with a star player. You know, got a lot of former European stars in MLS now: Griezmann, Messi, Son, Muller, James Rodriguez. If you can call him a star, I wouldn't. But it's good for Orlando, but okay, now figure out your back line.
Yeah. And maybe this is just step one, and then we're going to see a busy summer. And I think this summer, regardless, we're going to see a busy summer. It's going to come off the end of a World Cup year. Players and managers are going to be moving around like crazy. So it's going to be interesting to see how MLS factors into that. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. So Orlando still has time to turn things around. It's only been, 4 games?
Yeah.
And I believe they're dead last in the East. So got a lot of time to turn things around. So speaking of the World Cup, fans from Algeria, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Tunisia, and Cape Verde will face a $15,000 bond in order to enter the U.S.
Do we need any other reason to think like before this is happening, this is still going to be the worst World Cup ever?
Yeah.
And that's saying something because we had South Africa.
Yeah, and we had Qatar.
Yeah,
4 years ago.
Well, Qatar. I mean, the lead up to it was horrible. The actual tournament happened, and it happened kind of like clockwork. But I mean, the logistics and the infrastructure issues that plagued South Africa. I mean, you hear any player talk about that has been to multiple World Cups, they point to South Africa without even a question.
Yeah. This one though, $15,000 bond in order to enter the U.S. Due to the American political climate,
also the fact that the country is essentially banned to begin with. This is just adding on top of that.
Yeah, it just adds to the whole mess this World Cup is. So it's got even more expensive.
Yeah,
and Donald Trump, the president of the United States, included the Visa Bond Pilot Program. Traveling to the U.S. on a business or tourist visa have to deposit bonds in order to obtain a B1 or B2 visa.
So, yeah. Welcome, world.
Welcome, world, to America. North America, even Canada. and Mexico, things are kind of messed up.
It's funny when Canada being boring is a good thing.
Yeah, though we have our own issues.
We have our own issues, but when it comes to welcoming the world, at least we just, quietly just go on our way.
Yeah. Well, at least the big issue for Canada when it comes to World Cup prep is the stands at BMO Stadium,
Yeah,
BMO
exactly.
Field in Toronto. And here, I guess, I don't know. I guess
Grass.
ticketing and all that. Yeah, grass, which they're gonna figure out next month.
Our controversy seems so tame.
Yeah, compared to the U.S.
Compared to, like concentration camps.
Yeah, we'll not go that far.
Yeah.
But speaking of World Cup, Canada opponent in the first game of the World Cup will either be Italy or Bosnia and Herzegovina. Italy, thanks to Sandro Tonali and Moise Keane, defeated Northern Ireland 2-0. And Bosnia beat Wales in an intense penalty shootout. The winner of that game will face Canada at BMO Field in the opening game of the World Cup.
Congratulations on Bosnia. I mean, it took a goal in the 86th minute to force extra time. So, I mean,
Yeah,
they look kind of done and dusted heading into that. Big frustration for the four nations. Two of them kicked out in a single group.
Yeah. Bosnia and Italy. This will be in Sarajevo, I think. This Tuesday, 11:45 a.m. So you can watch it if you want. If you're at work, you can watch it on your phone on the lunch break. And a lot of other World Cup qualifying games happened yesterday. I'm just gonna take a look here. Yeah, Wales is out. Sweden is a win away from the World Cup as well, and same with Jesper Sorensen's Denmark, which I'm sure he's happy about.
Couple of surprises to me out of all the games that happened yesterday. One is Republic of Ireland and Czech Republic. They went to penalties. Czech Republic won. There was a lot of pressure on Troy Parrott with Ireland to kind of carry them over the line. Obviously, it did not happen. Parrott did get a goal in the 19th minute, a penalty, and then they had to rely on an own goal in the 23rd minutes to at least get them going. But another one where the Czech Republic forced extra time with a goal in the 86th minute. So it wasn't enough to do it. The other one that was a surprise for me was Kosovo, 4-3 over Slovakia.
Yep, 4-3. And Kosovo will face Turkey for their final spot.
Yep.
Sweden, Poland. Good matchup there. Czechia, Denmark. And then, of course, Italy and Bosnia.
Your money has to be on Denmark, but that is going to be, you know what? I think that one could be an exciting game. That one could be an upset. I would not be surprised. Czechia, or Czech Republic for old school, Czech ancestors like me. They're quietly a good team.
Yeah. Denmark as well.
Denmark has always been good. I think there's going to be a big upset if they don't make it, but it's one where I think an upset could happen.
Same with Kosovo and Turkey. Good way Kosovo did well.
That would be a very big upset. I think I will say out of all the playoff finals on Tuesday, Sweden, Poland, I think has the makings to be the most exciting final.
Yeah. That one's I'll pick them.
Yeah.
For Italy, if they lose this, that'll be three straight World Cups that they will miss out on, which will be a disaster for them. So all the pressure's on them to beat Bosnia on Tuesday.
Not only that, but Italy has already released a World Cup jersey,
which
putting the cart before the horse a little bit.
Exactly.
But yeah, I agree with you. Italy needs to make this just for themselves. It's kind of like that crisis of faith that Germany had about 18, 20 years ago, where they bowed out very, very early. And it led to Germany completely revolutionizing how they do youth players, how they do coaching, and how they do refereeing, to which they ended up benefiting from with a golden era, a decade later. Italy hasn't really done that. Like, they've basically lived in this crisis of faith, but then haven't really done anything to try to change and strengthen.
Yeah, they tried playing attacking football, but it hasn't really worked.
No. Also, is it Gattuso that's managing Italy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to install like a bit of a hot, be more defensive, trying to change formations.
He's old school Italy, right?
Yeah, he wants to try to bring that glory back because he was part of the 2006 World Cup team. But if Italy goes through, it makes Canada's group a bit harder, especially with that first game in Toronto. Yeah. All of Woodbridge will come out. It'll be like a home game for Italy.
It very will be. You got to think that there's a lot of people in that Toronto metropolitan area that really do want to see Italy go through, mainly because they want to see Italy and Canada, but you're going to see a lot of Italian shirts in that stadium, not from Italy.
Yeah, because Toronto's Italian Italian
community is very big, very strong, very passionate.
Yeah, Woodbridge is like Little Italy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Canada,
what? I would like to see it too. I think it would be a massive test for Canada, but Canada needs a massive test.
Yeah. For first game, I'd like to see it. They need a massive test. So they got some more tests in a few days. Friendlies against Iceland and Tunisia are coming up. A lot of injuries with Canada, including Alphonso Davies, Steven Eustachio, Alistair Johnston, and Moise Bombito. But Canada ain't playing around. These are friendlies, but these are tests for the upcoming World Cup. And a lot of players have a chance to prove themselves and further audition for the World Cup squad. Including Ralph Priso, who is the only Whitecap to make the Canadian squad. And
I still include Ali Ahmed in that.
Yeah, Ali Ahmed, of course.
Once and forever.
Yeah, Marcelo Flores will make his Canada debut after making the one-time switch.
Yep.
Dyed his hair red also.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Canada's been lacking that creator on the wing or that 10. Well, Flores literally is that. Progressive passes.
Yeah. I think it'll be really nice to see. It'll be interesting to see who they decide to line up top, especially with how well Kyle Larin has been doing since he moved to Southampton.
Yep.
It kind of feels like, just when you thought he was out, they pulled him back in. So I feel like there may be a little bit of a number 9 battle again, which I'm excited to see.
You got Tani Olawase as well, filing for that spot. Russell Rowe, who just made his move last month to Toulouse from Columbus Crew. And of course, the new name, Arben Peppel. 13 goals in 30 league matches with Plymouth this year.
Yeah. Obviously, Plymouth is, I want to say, League One in England.
League One.
But you know what? To see a new face, like you said, not only him, but Ralph Priso, I'm happy that new players are being introduced into the Canadian squad to see what they can do, right? Like, you get invited to it. Now it's up to the player. And I really hope that these players excel and create competition within that squad.
Yeah, but Peppel, poacher, aggressive in the box, something that Canada needs because goals have been lacking the past few windows.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Peppel, former Calgary Foothills and Cavalry product. So CPL to the Canadian men's national team pipeline.
There you go.
Continues. It's going to really wonder how they do it out Eustachio, that engine in the midfield, dealing with an injury.
Yeah.
2 to 4 weeks with LAFC. Very unfortunate.
Yeah,
Likes of Ishmael Kone got to step up. Matthew Schwanner also in the squad.
Yep.
Also done well with LAFC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When it comes to the competition that they're facing, when you take a look at Italy and kind of what they've been doing, Italy, they haven't played since the February break. A 4-0 loss to Mexico. You got to think that this is a game that Canada should be looking at. Italy hasn't scored in their last 2 matches. They had lost in World Cup qualifiers of their last group stage 2-0 to Ukraine back in November. So this is one where regardless of injuries, you need players to step up and show that Canada can still win when adversity kind of rears its head. This is one that Canada that needs to win.
Yeah, and Iceland are not in the World Cup. They did not make 2022 either, but they play a low block. Canada needs to also figure out how to score goals and break down a low block.
And they're at home, so
yeah, they're in Toronto, and Jesse Marsh pointed out that Iceland is good on set pieces. Of course, something Canada really needs to work on. And then on Tuesday, I believe, is Tunisia, who
yeah.
are in the World Cup.
Tunisia last played was African Cup of Nations. They made it to the round of 16 where they ended up losing, I believe, on penalties to Mali.
Yep.
Tough team to get a read on. I don't really know a lot about the Tunisian national team. Obviously, they have a lot of players that play in France with the colonial history, both them and Algeria, obviously. We'll have to wait and see. I can't say I know a lot about the Tunisian national team, but this is the team, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that Ryan Alumi has been called up?
He's been called up.
Yeah.
So he'll be playing against Canada. So Iceland are 74th ranked, and Tunisia are 47th ranked. I'm looking to Tunisia.
Okay, so Tunisia is much closer to Canada in terms of FIFA rankings.
Yeah, they have a PSG youth product, Khalil Ayeri, also who's a forward. And they have a midfielder from Norwich City, Anis Ben Silman, so Ali Ahmed's current teammate. He's born in Denmark, but he plays for the Tunisian national team. A lot of these guys do play in the Tunisian league, but you got a couple in Sweden.
You've got a few young boys in Sweden, Shakhtar Donetsk, Norrping in Sweden, Maribor, good club.
Oh, yeah.
Burnley, Norwich City, like you were saying. Yeah, there's players all over. Union Berlin, Hanover, lots in Germany.
Yeah, Sebastian Tunicki, winger for Celtic.
Yeah.
Also.
And then also very young product like Alumi, Anis Saidi, who plays for San Diego.
Yeah. So a lot of young guys. I'm seeing a lot of like 23 and younger.
Yeah.
Guys from Tunisia. So they're a young team. I don't know how they play, but both teams are going to be hungry for that game. But Canada, I'm looking to figure out to put the ball in the net, keep that structure, keep that press, especially against Iceland, who play the low block.
Yeah.
And Tunisia, I'm sure they're going to be a team you can't underestimate. Can't underestimate any of these teams.
Put it this way, I want Canada to dominate both these matches. I don't expect them to win both, but I want them to win one, draw one.
Yeah, I want them to prove that they're ready for the World Cup.
I want them to prove that they're ready too. And injuries cannot be an excuse because they won't be an excuse in the World Cup.
Yeah, they're at home too, so you can get to galvanize the crowd as well. And I want to see certain players like a Ralph Priso like prove that he belongs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Canada. I'm sure he'll get at least a half in the games.
Yeah, and I think Jesse Marsh has also said that he's going to split time with both goalkeepers. So expect Crépeau and St. Clair to.
That's also going to be. Yeah, we won't know who starts until the first game.
Yeah.
So Canada, Iceland tomorrow, Canada, Tunisia on Tuesday. They got to impress here. It's all business.
Absolutely.
All right, Europe's on international break. Chelsea lost again, 3-0 to Everton at Hills Dickinson Stadium. Again, people talk about Haramball being super, super defensive, which it is. My version of Haramball is just constant passing and doing nothing with it. That's what Liam Senior's football is. Pass, pass, pass. Don't bother to shoot. Don't bother to cross. Just pass, pass, pass. Respect the ball, he says.
Respect the ball. But he can't respect another team.
Yeah, and Everton, I believe they've won back-to-back home games for the first time at their new ground.
Everton has surprised me this year. They've stabilized. And surprising of all, David Moyes.
David Moyes belongs at Everton. So Bento scores twice. First one was bad defending by Wesley Fofana. A second one goes right through Robert Sanchez's legs, through the 5-hole. This Robert Sanchez is back to default settings. And the third one in Jai's banger. Nothing Sanchez could have done there, but Chelsea were terrible. Defense was terrible. Attack was non-existent. After losing to PSG in the Champions League, you'd think they put up a better fight. They didn't. Chelsea's top four hopes are slipping away. It's actually top five now, which is a given. Even fifth place makes the Champions League again. That's also slipping away. Like Liam Rosiner's out of his depth, but what's the point? If they sack him, they'll just bring in Gary O'Neill. And this is all on sporting directors and the ownership. So
don't talk to me about sporting directors and ownership.
yeah. Cole Palmer just
get to that.
Invisible. João Pedro isolated. Like Pedro Neto again, very frustrating. Trying to take on defenders and not do the simple thing. And then off the bench, down 3-0, you got Alejandro Garnacho and Liam Delap. Great recruiting. So Liam Rosiner's report saying that his job is safe unless there's a huge collapse. Even if Chelsea missed out on Champions League. And he'll report he gets some say on transfers. Wow, Chelsea in their briefs again. Couldn't give Maresca say on transfers. He just wanted the center back. Maybe if they listened to him, we wouldn't be in this position.
That sounds like such a sad call. All he wanted was a center back.
Yeah, pretty much. And
my kingdom for a center back.
That's all. That's pretty much his number one priority. He did not get him last summer. He wanted Mark Gay.
Yeah.
And now
everyone did.
Everybody wanted Mark Gay.
Yeah.
So now, according to Matlaw, Chelsea views this summer as critical in terms of mental resilience. Briefs again. And I don't know, this team, 4 years ago, four-window window. We'll be good in 5 years. We'll be good in long term. Nothing's changed. We'll be good in long term. Keep moving the goalposts. We're a couple years away from being a couple years away again.
Yeah.
Enzo Fernandez is considering his future at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Real Madrid want him, and he'd leave for only Real Madrid should an offer come after the World Cup. But Chelsea don't want to sell him for less than $100 million. And I can't blame him because he wants to leave because he spoke out that he was very unhappy with Enzo Maresca leaving. And I just won't be surprised if he leaves in the summer.
He was brought in under Maresca, wasn't he?
He was brought in when Graham Potter was here.
Oh my God. Okay, that long ago. Okay. I thought because he's very much a Maresca sort of guy.
Yeah, like the deep line playmaker will be hard to replace. It'd suck if they lose him because he's a key player, a leader on this squad.
He's a guy you build a squad around.
Yeah, and one of the guys that should be kept going forward. Yeah. Moises Caicedo was also asked about if he had any intentions of leaving. He said no, and he wants to become a Chelsea legend. Fair play.
Okay.
So we don't. Future of Chelsea is uncertain, and if they miss out on Champions League, it'll be huge when it comes to financial losses, which they're already dealing with financial losses.
Yeah.
And things aren't looking good right now. And I can't blame any of the players if they want to leave because this project has failed.
What does this project need to kickstart it in the right way again?
Change the model.
It can't be players. It's not managers. It's got to be something in the executive.
Change the model. Stop piling kids and actually go for experienced players.
Fair enough.
And no, I'm not talking about experienced players that are free from a fellow Premier League side like Tosin. Actual experienced players who are 23 and above, maybe even 30 and above.
It's that balance, right? Having someone like old school, like a John Terry, able to teach, the other players that are coming up, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe sign Marco Senesi on a free. I'm not sure if he's the answer. Bring someone like Murillo from Nottingham Forest. I know they won't let him go, but I'd love to see Jared Brathwaite from Everton. He's about entering his prime. Gay would have been perfect last summer. Bring in experienced players, whether they make Champions League or not, but if they don't make Champions League, it will be tough. So Tottenham, apparently Igor Tudor's on his way out, and Adolf Like, look at that name, Adolf Hooter.
Yeah, that's the
Coming.
name that's going to get confused.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What can you say? So not Newcastle. I wrote that wrong. Nottingham Forest. They lose 3-0. This was a must-win match because Nottingham Forest was just below Spurs on points.
Yep.
They lose it 3-0 in spectacular fashion, and
At home too.
this was a must-win game. If you won this game, you could have some breathing room. You'd be 4 points above. You would have made distance between you and those teams that are below you. They didn't do any of that. This was a must-win game. This was the game that I was pegging on whether or not they could be safe from relegation.
After this one, I think they're really, really going down.
I feel it too. I hate to say it, but I feel it too. Obviously, Tudor did not take post-match media afterwards. Unfortunately, he was informed after the game that his father had passed away. Obviously, condolences to him and his family. But he hasn't been let go officially yet. But you can't see this as a tenable situation anymore. He's made 1 point in 6, 7 league matches. I don't even know
Something
what it is
like
anymore. They've only really looked decent in 2 of them, and one of those was the Champions League match,
which they won, but they lost the tie.
They lost the tie, absolutely. Nottingham Forest's manager, Priera, this was his first match that he won since last April with a different team, right? Like, it shows you, like, there was so much in this that said the opportunity is there. And it was just another crash and burn. So I don't really see what's going on. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk also this week about how much Tottenham has been missing Dejan Kulusevski and James Maddison, 2 of the biggest creative players. And there's been a lot of charts showing just the win percentage, the ratios, and everything with Kulusevski in the lineup versus without. And without, it's very, very damning. Kulusevski has been talking about his knees, saying that he is raring to go and that he feels really good. But there's also been video of him visiting the Swedish national team during this break and him limping. Now, are people reading too much into it? I don't know. But, I mean, he has been out. We're talking about almost a full calendar year. So it's very, very damning on what's going on with this. Now, the battles over what's going to happen with management and also with a sporting director has still been going on. Dougie Friedman, currently with Al Diriyah in the Saudi First Division. He's been the name that's been talked about since early March about possibly becoming the new sporting director. He's officially said no. So we're back to square one on sporting director. Who knows where we go from here? In terms of manager, De Zerbi. Well, obviously, there's the whole talk about Poticeno, but we can't talk about that because he's not leaving until after World Cup. It's done and dusted. Spurs need an answer before that. It just remains to be seen. Are they looking at an interim or are they looking at a full-time manager? So let's not talk about Pochettino. De Zerbi is the guy that has been kind of the guy that they want. But he has said publicly that while he would be interested in the job, he is not an interim. And even if he took the job, he will not take it until the summer. So he doesn't want to manage the team as it is right now, which means they still need an interim. So who is that interim going to be? There has been talk about Robbie Keane, former Spurs player, doing really good with Ferencváros in the Hungarian league. And the Hungarian chief executive, Pál Orzós, has said that he would leave with the club's blessing if he decided to go to Spurs. He understands that history. He understands that relationship and that attachment. And if, Robbie Keane decided, yes, this is for me, he would do it. Robbie Keane doesn't want to be an interim. He wants to be the full-time guy. I don't know if Spurs are looking for that right now. So now you're looking at who else can be. Adolf Hooter is a name that's popped up. He's with the Austrian national team. Um, again, does he want to leave Austria to be an interim? Doesn't sound like it. So who are you left with to be an interim? And the name that keeps popping up, Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche has saved teams before.
He has. He is a specialist.
And he is a specialist. But that was Igor Tudor. He was a specialist at saving teams before. Not in the Premier League, but he was that guy in Italy and elsewhere. So do you go with the guy that can do it in England? I don't know. I really am not a fan of Sean Dyche's brand of football, but if it keeps it up, do I just swallow it and
you have to
just take it? That being said, is even if he does keep Spurs up, you're still back to square one at the end of the season. Is the situation better if he keeps in the Premier League? Because if it still doesn't happen and you're going down to the Championship, now you're trying to find a manager from a worse position, right? And I don't think that there is the same caliber of manager that's going to be looking to take over Spurs if they're in the Championship.
Definitely not.
It's again, this is a situation that's been going on since before January. They haven't won since then.
They haven't won in this calendar year.
No, not in the Premier League. So I don't know what the problem is. The only other news when it comes to Spurs is the away kit for 2026-27 season has been leaked. It looks like the cushion that you would find on a bus.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to bring it up here.
Yeah, it's not great. So, yeah. There's really no good news. So, more of the same. Let's light ourselves on fire.
Let me just.
Do you find it?
Yep. Oh God. This looks like something you'd wear to a rave. Well, I mean, people do wear football kits to a rave, but
yeah, it's not great. Like
this looks like a practice kit.
Yeah,
or a warm-up kit. Yeah.
So
too much.
Yeah, they really haven't had decent kits in a couple of years. But you know what? I'd swallow it and I'd take that kit if they manage to stay in the Premier League and actually fix themselves. But there are big shoes to fill, both manager and in sporting director.
Yeah. Other news. So Senegal is appealed to the CAS over the AFCON debacle.
Yeah.
They allege corruption through the CAF, and they will parade the trophy through Paris before their match against France tomorrow.
I love that they're going to parade the trophy in France, and basically, it's like you can't take this win away from us. And that's the general consensus around the world, unless you're from Monaco, is we know who the winner is, and your record books aren't going to say anything otherwise.
Yeah.
They have a strong case. Legally, a lot of legal minds when it comes to sporting fixtures, regardless of that one rule that Monaco keeps pointing to, says because the referee didn't stop the game and because there was no on-pitch complaint from Monaco and they agreed to play the rest of the match, they don't have a leg to stand on.
Nope.
So it's going to be interesting. Now, the CAS said that they are going to expedite this. So we have no timeline, but with them saying expedited, I'm hoping that they'll figure it out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, but this is going to drag on for a while. I don't care what anyone says. Senegal and AFCON. Jack Sabali is still an AFCON winner.
When it comes to the CAF, it doesn't end yet. The Congolese FA boss,
Jean-Guy Mayolasi,
I guess, has been recently sentenced to life imprisonment along with his wife and son after being convicted of embezzling funds from FIFA. Now, they were sentenced to life in Congo, but now FIFA is opening up their own investigation into the embezzlement, what's going on there. And it's not just that. They're finding them guilty of money laundering, forgery, and the use of forged documents and embezzlement. Now, there's two other individuals that are being in this as well. And FIFA's now basically they were tried in absentia. So while they've been sentenced to life imprisonment, they're not actually in jail because they don't know where they are.
Yeah. Can't kill
So
someone if you don't know where you are.
CAF, the weird football gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, AFCON, African football, it's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
So we'll end it with some big news out of the Premier League, which I felt like was coming for months. Mo Salah is set to leave Liverpool at the end of the season after being the highest non-English winger in comes to scoring in Premier League history, one of the greatest to ever play in the Premier League.
Yeah.
MLS and Saudi Arabia calling. I think he's going to Saudi. I'd be surprised if he goes to MLS.
Got to remember what was a couple years ago. One team had bid 150 million pounds for him, I believe, and Liverpool turned it down.
Yeah.
Not only that, but because of his Muslim upbringing, he is a guy that Saudi Arabia wants to represent them. Being that he's from very
Another
close
ambassador.
from in Egypt.
From Egypt, not too far
This
away.
is something that has been talked about numerous times. The Saudi Premier League seems to be the best fit for him. There has been talk about, does San Diego kind of lean in, a few other teams, but no one really seems to be taking that bait.
Yeah, it feels like it's all quiet on the MLS front. Ben Jacobs did ask the president and CEO Brad Sims of New York City if the links to Salah are true. He's like, yeah, we like him, but kind of like set up a bunch of nothing. Kind of denied it.
We don't know who has the discovery rights on Salah when it comes to MLS, so there would be that. But I bet Don Garber is just salivating at trying to get him here. It's just a matter of whether or not it will happen. Before we wrap it up, I do want to mention something. Matthew Scantini of TSN has officially announced that Jesse Mars says Dane St. Clair is going to start the game in Iceland. Maxim Crepeau will start the Tunisian game. He also says that Marcelo Flores will be involved in both games. So that'll be 2 caps for him. They are friendly, so obviously not caps that count, but
Oh, I mean, I think these ones actually count.
Do they?
Believe they do. The last one didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yep. Dane St. Clair tomorrow against Iceland. Max Crepeau on Tuesday against Tunisia. The goalkeeper battle will continue. So, yeah, that'll conclude this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what we're doing right. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Follow me on Twitter, JoshuaRay00, Nathan and Dirk, podcast, Triple City FC. Are also on Blue Sky, Instagram as well. Check out our Writings for Air if we're doing sports networks as well. As we cover more soccer, there's some hockey coverage. I believe baseball season, since baseball season has just started, some baseball coverage I believe will happen as well. And if you haven't already, check out my interview I did yesterday with David Osted about his petition and his Whitecaps career. Check that out on wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. So we'll be back next week, I believe Wednesday or Thursday, to preview Whitecaps Portland and talk about the Canadian men's national team friendlies. So international break. It's continuing for another week. So that concludes this week's episode. Peace out.
Take care.